principal component analysis. Now you'll be wondering what is the need of this particular principal component analysis. So basically the need arises due to the problem of overfitting of our training data set. So when you have seen that whenever we are training the data set, we may find a problem of overfitting, and due to which the model is confused as per what is the output for a given problem. So for example, I have always been telling you, if there is a round shape and let us say if the radius is 5 centimeter, then you have to consider this as a ball. Now if you give and might be, let us say that the color that we are using is red. So if we give something a ball of say 10 centimeter radius and the color is red, still it is a ball, but due to overfitting problem, because this parameter that is 5 centimeter radius was not worthful, because it can be a 10 centimeter also radius and you can still have a ball. So this was a problem of overfitting. In this you can see all the parameters are taken into consideration, due to which there was a confusion in the model, as per the answer that is obtained is wrong. So what happens when you talk regarding this XY axis? So you can see in this case, if you are drawing a line and there are, let us say, this dots placed over here. Okay, so in case of overfitting, this line, it is going to pass through all the, it will try to pass that, it will cover up all the pixels. But actually that is not the way you can draw a line, or you cannot have a model in this way in which it is always having variation. We should have a model that, an optimal model that will give solution to all the problem. So what basically PCA is doing is that principal component analysis, it is trying to avoid the overfitting problem that arises while training a model. Because due to this, the model gets confused as per what should be the output. The simple example that I have taken was this. Now, what is the motive of our PCU? That in this case, motive of PCA, it is to remove the redundant feature from the data set. We have to remove redundant data features from the data set without losing information of the data set. विदाउट लूजिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, मतलब ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपने कोई डेटा, कोई फीचर निकाल दिया और दैट वाज एन यूजफुल फीचर, and when you are removing that feature, many of the other parameters are getting affected with that. So we should take care that we have to remove the redundant feature, but also it should not lose the information that it is having. So you can see PCA is, in other words, a feature extraction or dimensionality reducing technique. So this is feature extraction, or you can say dimensional reduction technique. So it is dimensionality reduction technique. So this is the basic concepts of our PCA, that why PCA is being used. Now, whenever we are designing, whenever we are solving the PCA problem, we can have n number of ways it can be solved. So let us say that when we are considering a two-dimensional data set, that is, we are having x and y axis, and let us say that these are the pixels that are there, and this is a line that is drawn. Now, how to reduce these features? So let us say this x is, say, feature 1 and y is, say, feature 2. Now, whenever we have to reduce a dimension, we can have the different views that we can consider. यानी अगर हमने ये problem consider किया है, तो इसको देखो, अगर हम लोग इस वाले view से देखते, तो let us name this as view 1. With this view 1, we can view the data set or whatever is the graph that we have obtained, and we can see this as a single line with a dot over it, isn't it? So I'll just use another color. So here you can see this is the whatever these dots were there or instances that were there. So if you have different feature and there was a relation between them, then what we can do to reduce the dimension, we can view this particular graph through this view. You can see we are viewing it from the top. With that, we'll see this line. Over this line, we can see whatever dots were there or instances that were there, we can see over the line. Now let us name this particular as principal component and 1. Principal component 1. Now we can also view this particular data set with another view. So we can have a different dimension that is available with us. Okay. So how we are supposed to view? So let us say if we are viewing from this point. Okay. If you are viewing from that point, what we need to do is that we can have an arbitrary line drawn over here, or you can say imaginary line drawn over here. Because when we take an imaginary line here, again we are going to have a line, and over there you can have whatever pixels that were here or instances that were there, we can observe on this particular line. When we have view 2, जब हम लोग के पास view 2 वाला विजन रहेगा. Fine. So let us name this particular as principal component 2. So there is a very important note regarding the principal component is that number of principal component can be less than or equal to attributes. Equal to attributes that are there. So you can see in this case there are 2 attributes, यानी 2 features है आपके consider कर रहे हैं. तो accordingly आपके पास एक principal component analysis भी हो सकता है, 2 principal component analysis भी हो सकता है. That means it can be less than or equal to the number of attributes. So here we can get 2 principal component analysis. Now the question arises is that to which principal component analysis one should give a priority. So the priority is always giving the first PC1 principal component is given the most highest priority. So in this case PC1 is having the highest priority, and accordingly the priorities goes on reducing. Now, very important thing that should be noted here is that principal component follows an orthogonal property. Orthogonal property इनके होती है. Now, what is this orthogonal property is that principal component 1 is not dependent on PC2 and PC2 is not dependent on PC1. So you can see whatever output you all have obtained of PC1 and PC2, they both are independent of each other. This is the property of our principal component analysis. Now let us solve a simple problem for our PCA and see how we can obtain the principal component analysis. For that, we need to find the covariance of the matrix and eigenvector for a matrix. So you can see, to solve the problem of principal component analysis, we need to find the covariance of a matrix or whatever data that is given, and also eigenvector for the same. So let us say there is a problem in which you have X and Y, and let us assume that there are few data set that is been given. So let me say that there are 10 data set that is given in our case, and this is how it is given: 0.7, 2.9, 2.2, 3.0, 2.7, 1.1 and 0.9. This is the data set that has been provided. So what we need to do is that whenever you want to find the covariance, the first step for it is that we need to find the mean of x and y. So for finding the mean of x and y, what you need to do is that add up all this particular value and divide it by 10. Since there are 10 entries, what we are going to do is that we are going to divide this particular, add all the content that is x contains and then divide it by 10. With that, you will get the value of x bar, which is right now equal to 1.81. Similarly, for y, we are going to find the mean of y, which will be equals to, in this case, 1.91. After this, the step 2 will be, we need to find the covariance of a matrix. Because at last we have to find the PCA, principal component analysis. For that, we need to find the covariance and the eigenvector. Now, whenever you want to find the covariance will be given in this way: covariance of x comma x, covariance of x comma y, then covariance of y comma x and covariance of y comma y. Now with this, what is there? We are going to find the covariance. This matrix depends on the parameter number of attributes that you have. So if you have 2 attributes, you will have 2 by 2 matrix. If you have 3 attributes in the given data set, then accordingly your covariance matrix will be 3 by 3 matrix. Depending upon the given data set, you will be having the covariance matrix based on that. Now, let's see how to find the covariance of a particular matrix. So there is a simple rule, or you can see there is a simple formula by which you can find the covariance of the matrix. It is given as covariance of x comma y is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar yi minus y bar divided by n minus 1. Now what is this xi? Xi is any instance that is there. So for example, अगर तुमने 2.5 consider किया है, तो ये एक particular instance है. So this is what we are going to consider. So this is xi, in this case is 2.5, and x bar is the mean that we have obtained by adding all the attributes divided by the number of rows that were there. So it is x bar is the mean. Similarly, y is any instant that we are going to consider, and y bar is the mean. And your n indicate that number of rows that you have in a data set. In this case, you have 10 rows. So accordingly, this will be 10 minus 1, which will be equals to 9. And why the summation has been given is that you have to consider each data set at a particular point and work. So see how we are going to work. If you're considering the first data set, so it will be I is equal to 1 to 1, okay, where n will become 1 now, and xi now will change to x1 minus the mean, then y1 minus y bar, that is y1 minus y mean, divided by 10 minus 1, that is 9. Why 10? Because there are 10 number of rows that we have found out. Fine. This will be your covariance for your first equation, isn't it? Now, whenever we are finding the covariance, you can see there is a variable xx used, xy used, yx and yy used. Now, whenever you have to find the covariance of x comma y, this will be equal to covariance of y comma x, which is in other equals to 2 multiplied by 3 equals to 3 multiplied by 2, which will give the result 6. यानी ये एक एग्जांपल बता रही हूँ मैं, जिसमें 2 multiplied by 3 है और 3 multiplied by 2 दोनों सेम रहेंगे. तो ये covariance of x comma y is equal to covariance of y comma x. So you can see this covariance and this, the result will be same. Now how to find the covariance of x comma x? तो अगर हम covariance of x comma x find out कर रहे हैं, तो इसमें क्या करना होगा आपको? Instead of this y, now you're going to consider x. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा? जब हम लोग covariance of x find out करेंगे, when I'm finding the covariance of x comma x, it will be equals to summation I is equal to 1 to n एक्स आई माइनस एक्स बार जैसे, लेकिन ये y अभी क्या हो जाएगा, फिर से एक्स आई माइनस एक्स बार हो जाएगा, क्योंकि एक्स एक्स आपका कोवेरेंस फाइंड आउट करना है, और डिवाइडेड बाय n माइनस 1 मतलब 10 माइनस 1 विच इज इक्वल्स टू 9. 10 is the total number of rows right now. Similarly, when you are finding covariance of y comma y, आपको कैसे आएगा, I is equal to 1 to n. Now this will change to yi minus y bar. Similarly, yi minus, that is y1 minus y bar divided by 9. तो ये जो x y था, अब जब आप कोवेरेंस ऑफ x x फाइंड आउट कर रहे हो तो दोनों x के टर्म में आ जाएगा, कोवेरेंस ऑफ y फाइंड आउट कर रहे हो तो दोनों y के टर्म में आ जाएगा. Right? So what we need to do further is that we need to find covariance of each and every instance. So I'll just find out the covariance of the first two entries. Remaining entries you can do it by yourself. So if I'm finding the covariance of x comma x, I need to find which is the instance that is there. मतलब अगर मैं फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस पे वर्क कर रही हूँ तो x1 रहेगा, सेकेंड पे वर्क कर रही हूँ तो x2 रहेगा, और यहाँ पे xi माइनस x बार, क्योंकि ये हमें फाइंड आउट करना है. उसके बाद में दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करना होगा, दैट इज वी नीड टू मल्टीप्लाई xi माइनस x बार एंड xi माइनस x बार, राइट. विद दिस यू विल फाइंड द कोवेरेंस ऑफ xx. अब जैसे आपका गिवन प्रॉब्लम है जिसमें क्या है, आपका इनपुट दिया है 2.5 एंड 2.4, ठीक है. तो अकॉर्डिंगली आप अगर xx पे वर्क कर रहे हो तो आप 2.5 कंसिडर करेंगे, और सेकेंड आपका 0.5 है, तो मेरा यहाँ पर xi बन जाएगा 2.5 which is the first instance. Then I am going to find 2.5 minus what was the mean of your x. So you can see the mean of x that we were having was 1.81, isn't it? This was the mean that we have obtained. Here I am pointing it out. This is the mean that we have obtained. So it will be 2.5 minus 1.81. So it will come around 0.69. Then you want to multiply 0.69 multiply by 0.69. So you get an answer 0.476. Similarly, for second instance, so this was your first, this was your second, and so on. You're going to solve it till 10 because there are 10 instances given. So अगर आपका second जो है वो रहेगा 2.5 minus 0.5 and all at all you get an answer of minus of 1.31. ठीक है, 1.31 मिलता है, और 1.31 multiply by 1.31 this will give you 1.716. So this is how you're going to proceed for all the 10 instances of x. x के 10 instances के इसी तरह आप करोगे. Similarly, you're going to find the covariance with of y comma y. So I will write covariance of y comma y में फाइंड आउट करूंगी. तो y comma y फाइंड आउट करने के लिए फिर से मुझे क्या लगेगा, एक तो आपका जो भी सीरियल नंबर है, तो 1 2 3 so on till 10 you're going to find out. Okay, then you're going to write which instance you're working, so which yi you're working, then yi minus y bar, that means mean, and then yi minus y bar multiply by yi minus y bar, right? So if you see, as per the given problem, you have the instance of say 2.4, यहाँ पे 2.4 है और 0.7 है. इसी तरह आप 10 इसके लिए find out करोगे. So first let us do only for first two, then you can find out for the remaining ones. Okay, so it is 2.4 and you get an answer of, since y bar that is the mean of the given instances, it is 1.91. 1.91 ये आपका मीन है. तो आप क्या करोगे, 2.4 minus 1.91, so you get an answer of 0.49. Now you're going to multiply 0.49 multiply by 0.49, so that will give you 0.240. Similarly, for the second instance, you're going to find out 0.7. So the answer you're going to get 1.21, and this will be 1.464, and so on till 10 you're going to find out. Now after doing this, You're going to, now this was for your x comma x, I'll just segregate it. x comma x के लिए था ये, और ये आपका y comma y के लिए था, this part. Okay, so after doing the entire thing, you're going to find the sum of it. Okay, ये जो भी लास्ट कॉलम आएगा इन सब का क्या करोगे, सम करोगे. ये जो भी लास्ट कॉलम है इसका आप सम करोगे. Fine. Now the remaining thing was your covariance of x comma y or y comma y. Covariance of x comma y or covariance of y comma x. Now we are going to again apply the formula. So what we need in this case is that we need which serial number you're working, then your x, which x you're working on, which y you're working on, then x minus x bar, y minus y bar, and then multiply x minus x bar and y minus y bar. ठीक है, ये सारे कॉलम्स आपको लगेंगे एज पर द फॉर्मूला, बिकॉज द फॉर्मूला दैट सेज्ड वाज कोवेरियंस एफ एक्स कॉमा वाई इज इक्वल टू समेशन आई इज इक्वल टू 1 to n एक्स आई माइनस एक्स बार वाई आई माइनस वाई बार divided by n minus 1. This was the formula. So first let us say that we were working on the instance, on the first two instances itself. अगर पहले दो पे ही हम अगर काम कर रहे हैं, बाद में से आप पूरा सॉल्व करना and you obtain the answer. So the thing that we were working on, say x was your 2.5 and 0.5, y was your 2.4 and 0.7. Then you obtained x minus x bar as 0.69 and similarly you obtain 0.49 here. You have minus 1.31 and minus 1.21. Then you multiply x this into this and this into this, you obtain the answer as 0.338, 1.581, so on. Okay, you're going to do it for the 10 instances that are given. And then when you obtain the answer, what you're going to do? You're going to do the sum of this particular answer that you have obtained. Now after doing this particular calculation, we need to divide it by n minus 1. तो ये ऊपर का पार्ट हमने सॉल्व किया है सभी इसका. Then we need to divide it by the number of instance minus 1. So whatever answer you are getting, answer that I have obtained was something like this. Covariance of x comma x, I'll just write in the matrix form again. Covariance of x comma y, covariance of y comma x, and covariance of y comma y. The answer that I had obtained was this 5.54 divided by 9. Why I'm dividing it by 9? Because as per the formula, it needs to be divided by n minus 1. Similarly, 5.539 divided by 9, 5.539 divided by 9, 6.449 divided by 9. So at all, I get the answer as 0.6165, 0.6154, 0.6154 and 0.7165. So you can see in this case, these both values are same, because it was covariance of x comma y or covariance of y comma x. Overall it will be the same answer, and we have divided by 9 because this gives you number n minus 1, that is number of data minus 1. So you can see there were 10 rows that we had and we had to divide it by 1, divided by number of data minus 1. Now after finding the covariance, this is what we have obtained, the covariance of a particular data set. Once we have obtained the covariance, we are going to find the eigenvector for the same. Now what is the main thing that we need to find? The eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Now once we have obtained this covariance. So covariance was 0.6165, 0.6154, 0.6154 and 0.7165. So we write the eigenvector can be calculated as covariance minus eigenvalue into identity matrix equals to 0. This is a rule that you have studied even in mathematics, that how to find a eigenvector and the eigenvalues. So once we have got this, we have substituted the covariance as whatever matrix we had minus the eigenvector that we need to find out, and the identity matrix is always 1 0 0 1 because it is 2 by 2 matrix equals to 0. Now we are going to do the calculation for the same. So we are going to obtain the value for your lambdas. So when you actually substitute this and obtain the answer, you get an equation like this: lambda square 1 minus 33 lambda plus 0.0630 equals to 0. So with this you obtain some lambda 1 value and some lambda 2 value. Now after obtaining these values of lambda, that is eigenvalue, we need to find the eigenvector. For finding the eigenvector, we have the formula covariance into eigenvector is equal to lambda into eigenvector. So what we are going to do is that whatever covariance we have obtained, that is 0.6165, 0.6154 and 0.6154, 0.7165 into the vectors. So the vectors will be x1, y1. We can name it as anything. Just we need to find out this particular x1 and y1 value. Then this lambda, that is the eigenvalue that we have obtained from the above solution. So let us say that the solution that we have obtained over here was 0.0490 and 1.284. This was the solution we have obtained. So what we need to do is that one by one we have to substitute this 0.0490 into x1, y1, which was your vector. Then find the values of x1 and y1. Once you have found out the value of x1 and y1, you can get an eigenvalue. And with that, you can get your principal component analysis. So basically, why we were studying principal component analysis was that we have to reduce the dimensions. And for reducing the dimension, we cannot have anything, just any of the column that can be reduced or any view that we can not consider. We need to give importance to everything, isn't it? So for that reason, we have seen how the views to be considered. So this was a simple example that I have taken, in which we have taken two views and then plotted the graph by reducing the dimensionality. So this two-dimensional was reduced to a single-dimensional, and you can still obtain some value that was called as a principal component. Getting it? So this is how you're going to do the principal component analysis problem. Also, you can see in your syllabus, there is a mini project which says that we need to apply PCA for feature reduction on a company stock market data set. यानी आपको इन जो प्रिंसिपल कंपोनेंट एनालिसिस स्टॉक मार्केट के एक डेटा सेट पे अप्लाई करना है, एंड यू नीड टू फाइंड द डिफरेंट values of your PCA. So those students who are will be doing this particular problem, they need to understand how the dimension are being reduced, because there will be, let us say, if there are 10 attributes given in the data set or 10 features that are available in the data set, then accordingly you will be getting either 10 or less than 10 PCA. Because as we have seen, For this problem, there were only two features given. Still, we have obtained two different principal component analysis. And the priority is always given to the first principal component analysis that is there, because that is the widest view that we consider while considering any of the attributes. Fine. So I think PCA concept is clear to everyone, and please see that if you're completing this mini project, then accordingly you should know how is the working of our PCA. Actually you can use your Vika tool and do, because it is not mentioned as such that you have to actually go on designing the PCA. जैसे हम लोग अभी Python use कर रहे हैं, तो इसमें आप लोग directly जो inbuilt आपके data है, इनबिल्ट आपके जो एट्रीब्यूट्स है वो सारा यूज ही कर रहे हैं आप लोग, लीनियर रिग्रेशन का डायरेक्टली यूज कर रहे हैं आप, एज सच आपका खुद का जो है वो डिजाइन नहीं कर रहे हो इक्वेशन. यू ट्राइंग टू यूज वट एवर इज देयर, यू आर जस्ट गिविंग योर डेटा सेट राइट नाउ एंड देन ट्राइंग टू डू. Isn't it? Smita and Supriya, why you have joined so late? I have already explained the concept of PCA now. Please do not join late, because what to do in this particular mini projects you will not be able to understand. तो अभी आप क्या करो, ये कंपनी जो मिनी प्रोजेक्ट PCA लेंगे वो अकॉर्डिंगली स्टॉक मार्केट का डेटा सेट जो है इंपोर्ट कर लो, and then apply the PCA on that particular data set, right? Okay, I'll take the attendance. Roll number 1 to 5 who all are present? Just write in chat box. People, please do not write first only. I just want whenever I am telling that time you write the roll numbers. Roll number 1 to 5. Because I cannot go on checking each and everything. 5, 4, 3. Roll number 6 to 10. 6, 7, 9, 8. 11 to 15. 16 to 20. 16 to 20. 21 to 25. 26 to 40. 26 to 30. 30. 28. Yeah. 31 to 35. 36 to 40. 41 to 45. 46 to 50. 51 to 55. 56 to 60. 61, 62, 63. Anybody? See, I'm again calling the rail calls. Two all are present. 1, 3, 4. Who all are present? I'm calling out. Okay. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Then 24. 13 के बाद में direct 24 है. Then 28, 31, 33, 38, 40, 43, 44, 46, 47, 55 and 63. That's it. Nobody else is present now. Please do not give me write in WhatsApp, ma'am, I was present, I was absent, because I cannot mark it the attendance. If anybody is there, kindly tell right now. Roll number 27. ठीक है, mark किया. Okay. Now what you are supposed to do is that you're going to form a group of two people, and then you're going to start thinking what mini projects you are going to do. So you can see from this 3 mini project, you can opt for any one. There is project 1, mini project is genetic algorithm. Mini project 2 is SVM, support vector machine. Third is principal component analysis. Similarly, in cyber security, you have project 1, mini project 1 as for SQL injection. And for mini project 2, we need to develop a website, and then we have to actually demonstrate insecure and secured website. So what we want you all to do is that you should form a groups. So as per the guideline given for mini project, we need to, I'll just show you. In group of 2 to 3, please do not ask now, मैम 4 स्टूडेंट रह सकते हैं क्या, 5 रह सकते हैं क्या. 2 से 3 स्टूडेंट का ही आपका ग्रुप रहेगा जिसमें आप आपका मिनी प्रोजेक्ट बनाएंगे. And you need to apply all the software engineering approach to this mini project. And first, the first step will be that you are going to tell me in the LP3 lab which mini project you are going to do and what is your group name. That's what I want first step to be done. Then afterwards, we'll talk regarding what software engineering approach to be applied to it. Right? So I end the meeting today. In LP3 lab tomorrow, you're going to give me your group member name and which mini project you will be doing from your machine learning. That is, out of these 3, you need to do 1. And also in ICS from this 2, which one you will be doing. Okay, I end the meeting for today. Thank you, student.